So I have worked on hundreds of brand identity projects throughout the years, and some projects take months to make and some projects take weeks. But today I want to show you how I made a brand identity from scratch in just 1 hour.
So in this video, we'll be going over 4 things. The first one is deconstructing the mood boards. And once we have an idea of what direction we want to go in, we'll define the typeface. And after that, we'll go into colors and actually make some key visual elements that can support the whole brand identity. And then we will make some social media posts to actually see how it all comes together. And at the very end, Kanza is going to join us for a small chat where we talk about KAARKHANA branding and what is she going to do with the KAARKHANA website.
So Kanza is a dear friend and a long-time collaborator at the studio. And when she reached out to me to help her create an identity for her new passion project, it was a great opportunity to create something that was very local, fun, and very experimental at the same time. And the best part was that at that time, Kanza was helping me curate this whole branding bootcamp. So we decided, let's just try to do like a speed run in front of our students. And this is what came out of it.
That even are talking about right now is KAARKHANA. The name is KAARKHANA. That's what I came up with 2 days ago, literally. So the thing is, we have a space in the center of Karachi, and the idea is to make this into a creative hub where people can come and work together, work on ideas together, but it will also have like weekly events.
So usually when I'm working on a branding project, the idea is to divide the whole process into like 4 to 5 weeks. But what we're doing right now was very different. It was like creating a brand identity on steroids. So everything that you'll see is condensed into just 1 hour. In this case, I was like, Kanza, I want you to share a mood board with me that I also asked her to deconstruct and let me know what are the elements of the mood board that you really like, so we really speed up the process.
So I think typeface that is strong, assertive, but playful. Okay, we know how the type is looking. Okay, strips is something like an under construction thing, very direct. It makes a lot of sense. Bold retro color palette. Okay, interesting. And create an energetic. Okay, makes sense. It needs to have an industrial raw feel. Okay, and okay, that makes a lot of sense. Amazing.
So once I know what the mood board is looking like and what specific visuals will help me create this brand identity, I move on to the typography.
So let's start off with typography, which needs to be bold and very like funnish. Funnish, what a word. Okay, so we'll go with KAARKHANA and let's see the fonts that I have. Yeah, but इसमें थोड़ा readability का issue है, right? But we'll explore a few more. This looks interesting. ये थोड़ी सी feel है वैसे. We could go with like something very texture. Obviously we can add texture later also, but this has a feel, ना? ये वाला क्या खूबसूरत है. Subtle सा texture भी है इसके ऊपर. You know, it has an interesting feel. Let's look into like more. Like I'm just gonna maybe end up going with this.
So once I've collected a couple of fonts, I narrow them down to 2 fonts and then I choose the best one.
So I think isme se I do think this one works and this one works. Kanza, what do you think?
I really like the niche wala. Upar wala is a little blocky.
Yeah, I think because we need to have that industrial feel जो हम उसको बाद में वो करेंगे.
And once we finalize the typography, someone in the class recommended that we should do an Urdu version of it, considering KAARKHANA, the word, is actually in Urdu. And if I had weeks or months, I would actually sit down and make a version of the text the same way how these English logos have their Arabic version.
If we are doing something with let's say Urdu, right? This is what I feel like in terms of like thickness and वो ना कि अगर ये दोनों साथ हैं, obviously we need to add the same texture on top of this, right? This could make more sense because this means that we need to create a version in English that has like more of a same feel. I hope that makes sense.
Once I have the typography in front of me, I need to imagine how will it look with color.
Colors is something that we need to figure out because we need to have an approach which is welcoming but vintage.
So now that I have the typography and the colors, I can look into what graphic elements could join the canvas.
Chair करते हैं for example, and the chair, let's take those जो plastic chair होती है ना, plastic chair, which is like the Karachi dhaba chair, for example. That could become somewhat of a thing, let's say.
Arif, can we do charpai?
Charpai, yes.
So I was looking for this chair that's usually used at our like cafes, like local cafes and dhabas. But once Kanza mentioned charpai, that's where I felt like, okay, this is it. Charpai is basically, what does it say over here on Google? A light bed or cot used in India and Pakistan.
Charpai, I think now we get it. Okay. Tools, color, transparent. Let's see if there's like a PNG of it. There is. Wow, amazing. And let's go to Photoshop. Yeah. And what I can do is make it slightly bigger. And let's do image adjustment threshold. I think this is the feel.
And at this point, what I was trying to do was make like a main key visual, which is basically a wallpaper of that brand, which would have the colors, the typography, and some of the elements, so you can imagine how other things can look like. And just because we didn't have much time, I use this thing which I absolutely love, and also it saves me so much time, is using this threshold technique.
Right, let's just have this for now. KAARKHANA. And Kanza did share like a small creative description of it, right? KAARKHANA is this. Let's just add this, and let's do this.
So once the whole feel was coming together, the next thing I could think was, okay, what if we had an Instagram icon? How is that gonna look?
Let's say we'll have like an Instagram profile picture 1080. Let's just and figure out like a circle, right? We can think about a different चारपाई, like जो छोटी वाली चारपाई होती है, जो बहुत सारे लोगों के घर में होती है. मेरे घर में भी एक छोटी चारपाई है which my नानी uses. ये वाली जैसे होती है ना, क्यूट सी, ये वाली. This is good, right? Same thing we'll do with this. Copy image. Now we know कि अगर हम इसका एक वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं, right? This is beautiful. अगर हम इसका एक ये जो इफेक्ट यूज़ कर रहे हैं, go to image adjustment threshold, it gives me this grungy textured vibe, right? Which is already kind of going with this industrial feel. And let's try to see what looks good. Like an orange can also look pretty good. We could do that.
Just to kind of see the elements and the fonts and the graphic templates that we've kind of chosen, how does that all come together if there is a poster design or a social media post or anything, right?
And yeah, I think even we don't need definition. We could have a definition. I mean, that could be, what a beautiful high quality image. Convert to smart object, and let's do this, and let's do the same thing. We could think about like adding more things. अब जैसे हमने Illustrator पे अगर जो चीज़ें बनाई थी, for example, we have like an Urdu version of it. Pair it up with like somewhat like more text about it. Let's just think about it. Mohammed, this looks very interesting though. I like how it's blending in.
Love it. I really like it. मतलब I feel like जो मेरे दिमाग में image थी, it was so much more similar because I was going for a very yellow, like orange tones, and I think this is very nice. Even the Urdu type is very nice.
So this was overall like a very fun project to do because I got to define a lot of things that the brand can take and take it to the next level. Hello, Assalamualaikum Kanza, how are you?
Walaikum assalam.
How is KAARKHANA going? Because I think it was back in, when did you actually kick it off?
September like end, we were actually just soft launching it. So it's been like a good 3 months, I would say 3 to 4 months. Yes, it was very slow initially. I was figuring it out, but right now I think the response is so overwhelming. I am motivated every single day because anyone who's new, who's coming to the place and they're like, we're adding value to the community and creating a space like this.
Like, what was your perspective like watching this whole thing come to life?
It was so interesting क्योंकि firstly इतना interactive था throughout हमारा जो bootcamp हो रहा था. I was part of it like every other class. But towards the end, we had this spontaneous idea कि भाई ये हम कर सकते हैं, right? Like KAARKHANA also came up like very last minute. It worked out perfectly. But interactive in the sense कि okay, we don't have anything. We just have a mood board, and how is it coming into life? And it was an experience. It was just an interactive experience with everyone who was in that meeting, because people stayed longer because it was so much more fun. It was like, acha sahi hai, ab kya hoga, ab kya hoga, ab kya, because we all had one mood board to work with. We just had a couple of words, and now how do we bring it to life?
What we usually do at the studio is that we present with like 2 to 3 options of like, oh, this is like how we see the direction going, and we justify it, and then we make the client and collaborate with the client to figure out, okay, this works. And for us, I feel like we removed that part, and I think it was easier in a way because we were working together for the last year or so on like different things, so we had like mutual understanding of how things will come out. But I think we took a lot of decisions in terms of like the charpai, right? And the way the charpai was, the texture of it, or the colors that we came up with. What were the things that we made that day that you're still using in December?
I was like, rustic, we want like orange, yellow to be a very main part and everything. And I love कि चारपाई इस तरह आई थी कि you like, you know, people are using this chair, and I was like, why not चारपाई? और उस point पे कारखाना पे चारपाई थी भी नहीं. But I was like, you know, the vibe kind of goes with charpai, so एक symbol तो होगा. Charpai to still date is our symbol. I don't think I'm going to be changing it. I feel like it fits really well. It's a bummer that you haven't seen the place, but if you did, you would see how it, tied the place together. So we started using it in places. We also used it in our pop-ups and activations that we've done outside Karkhana. उसके अलावा we used the Habib Metro की building. We used it as a background, right? Like the IL Chandigarh ka main thing, which is like this tall building. And we have used that a lot to symbolize, okay, this is how Karkhana's rooftop looks like. Because that's one of our biggest selling points also, that our rooftop actually opens up to the, the tower. And then obviously the logos, the fonts. We haven't been the typeface that we've used, which was like a little bit faded. It had those greens we wanted, everything. तो वो हमारी उर्दू के भी लोगों में है और हमारी इंग्लिश के भी लोगों में है. And both of them, they work so well. We have tried to play around with how our Urdu logo looks like, but we've kept the main gist, which is it's simple, it's readable, it's static. You see, it's the most, it gives the right vibe at all times.
Like one thing that I'm really excited about is how you will translate all of this onto a website. Yeah, do you have a website? Because I think we can tease it right now.
No, it's not ready. No, I will show it to you, but I don't want to tease it, but I will show it to you. अभी मैं दिखाती हूँ आपको, लेकिन करनी भी हो tease तो we can. I don't mind it. It's not complete. अच्छा खैर, ये जो है ना, ये भी change होगा. ये थोड़ा we were experimenting. लेकिन अच्छा, so we have our location, we have our about us. We have upcoming events. This will be a clickable thing. We have our FAQs. We have our gallery. My other thing, and you can also suggest this, is should I keep a base as black?
No.
Like
no.
black? No.
Black is,
okay,
yeah,
go on.
I think that is, I feel like if you just flip, like just invert it, right? It's gonna be a lot better. I know that this orange won't look good on the white. Like a little grayish, but that could also work, but not black, because black just makes it look very anti what the page is doing. Yeah, it's like it has this very like underground rave kind of vibe right now, you know.
That is true. That is true. But then मेरा भी यही था कि I was like, I don't know if I'm vibing with black at all, and I don't know if I want this much orange in text.